You know that feeling? The one where you're standing in a crowded room, holding a plastic cup, listening to three different conversations at once, and yet you feel like you're floating in deep space. It's not that you don't like people, it's just that the noise, it doesn't seem to fit the frequency of your soul. If you've ever felt that, go ahead and hit the like button. It's a quiet way of saying, yeah, I'm here too. There is a pervasive myth in our world, a fake news broadcast playing on a loop in our brains, that says if you aren't surrounded by a tribe, if your phone isn't buzzing every 4 minutes, then you are fundamentally malfunctioning, that you are broken goods. But what if I told you that the silence you carry isn't an emptiness, but a capacity? Let me tell you the story of Elias. Elias lived in the bustling town of Oakhaven. Now, Oakhaven wasn't just a normal town. It was obsessed with broadcasting. Everyone in Oakhaven walked around with invisible megaphones. If someone ate a sandwich, they announced it. If someone felt sad, they held a press conference in the town square. The unspoken rule of Oakhaven was simple. If it isn't seen, it didn't happen. The townspeople were obsessed with what they called the copyright of life. They believed that if you didn't stamp your name on every conversation, every party, and every group photo, you lost the rights to your own existence. They were terrified of being demonetized by loneliness. Elias, however, was different. He was a woodcarver. He spent his days in a small shop at the edge of town, smelling of cedar and sawdust, while the rest of the town was busy producing what Elias called dishonest content, pretending to be happy, pretending to be rich, pretending to be friends with people they secretly couldn't stand. Elias was busy with the uncarved wood. In the philosophy of the ancients, there is a concept called pu, the uncarved wood. It represents potential. It represents a state of being simple, honest, and true to one's nature before society hacks away at it. Elias loved the wood. He loved the quiet. But Elias had a problem. He thought he was broken. He would look out his window and see the groups of people laughing, often too loudly, often at nothing, and a heavy stone of shame would settle in his chest. He thought, why can't I do that? Why is my circle so small? One Tuesday, the pressure got too much. The town was holding the great festival of connections. It was the Super Bowl of socializing. Elias decided he was done being the outlier. He was going to rebrand. He was going to beat the algorithm of Oakhaven. He put on a flashy vest he didn't like. He practiced 3 jokes he found in a book. He walked into the town square, determined to generate engagement. He walked up to a group of people discussing the weather with the intensity of a bomb defusal squad. "Great clouds we're having," Elias shouted, perhaps a bit too enthusiastically. The group stared at him. He tried again. He told a joke about a donkey and a ladder. Nobody laughed. But then, Elias did something terrible. He started engaging in dishonest content. He started agreeing with opinions he didn't hold. "Oh, you hate bluebirds? Me too." Can't stand them. Elias loved bluebirds. You think silence is for the weak? Absolutely. Noise is power. He was infringing on the copyright of his own soul. He was plagiarizing a personality that wasn't his. And for an hour, it worked. He was surrounded. He was high-fiving strangers. He had achieved mass appeal. But as the sun went down, Elias felt a physical weight crushing him. It wasn't the weight of loneliness. It was the crushing weight of performing. He realized he was surrounded by 50 people, yet he had never felt more isolated in his entire life. He slipped away from the party, gasping for air, and ran back to the edge of the woods. If you've ever run away from a party just to breathe, leave a comment saying 1. I promise you, I'll be reading them. Elias sat on a stump outside his shop, head in his hands. "I am defective," he whispered. I am a single tree in a forest that only grows in clumps." "You're not defective," a voice rasped. "You're just an eagle trying to act like a pigeon." Elias looked up. Sitting on the bench next to him was old man Silas. Silas was the town's oldest resident. He rarely spoke, and people thought he was grumpy. But his eyes were clear as a mountain stream. "I tried, Silas," Elias said. "I tried to expand my network, but I can't keep up. I don't have the energy." Silas chuckled, a sound like dry leaves rustling. "Elias, do you know how many people the human brain can actually, truly know? I mean, really know? Like, trust with your life, know?" Elias shook his head. "About 5, Silas said. "Maybe 15 if you're pushy. The scientists call it a cognitive limit. There's a guy named Dunbar who figured it out. Your brain is a factory, Elias. It has a limited budget. You can produce 1,000,000 cheap plastic toys, those are your acquaintances, or you can build 5 masterpieces." Silas pointed a gnarled finger at the town square where the noise was still raging. "Look at them. They are violating the terms of service of being human. They think they can have 1,000 friends, but they don't have friends. They have an audience. And an audience doesn't care if you're sick. An audience doesn't bring you soup. An audience just wants the next show." Elias looked at his hands, calloused from carving. "But I feel lonely," Elias admitted. "Do you?" Silas asked, leaning in. "Or do you feel judged? There is a difference, boy. Loneliness is when you have no water. Solitude is when you have a well, but you choose not to let everyone swim in it." Silas picked up a piece of wood Elias had discarded. "You are trying to copyright a life that doesn't belong to you. You are trying to avoid the strike of being different. But let me tell you a secret about the uncarved wood." Silas held the wood up to the moonlight. "To make this into something real, you have to cut things away. You have to remove what doesn't belong. You have to say no to the bark to find the owl inside. That is what you are doing with your life. You are cutting away the noise. That is not brokenness, Elias. That is art." Elias sat with that for a long time. The wind moved through the trees. For the first time all day, his chest loosened. "But," Elias asked, "what if I end up with no one?" Silas smiled. "True quality attracts true quality. If you build a lighthouse, you don't need to run around the ocean screaming for ships to look at you. You just stand there. You shine. The ships that are looking for the light, they will find you." Elias went back into his shop that night. He didn't turn on the bright lights. He lit a single candle. He picked up his chisel. He didn't carve for the town. He didn't carve for the applause. He carved because the wood needed to be shaped. The next day, Elias walked into town. A man shouted, "Hey Elias, where were you? You missed the after party. We took photos." Elias smiled, a genuine, calm smile. "I was busy," he said, gently. "Busy with what?" the man asked. "I was busy being where I am," Elias said. He didn't offer a fake excuse. He didn't produce a dishonest explanation to satisfy the policy of the town. He simply owned his reality. He owned the copyright to his own time. And something strange happened. As Elias walked with his head high, comfortable in his silence, comfortable in his own skin, people noticed. Not the loud ones, but the quiet ones. A woman who usually stood in the back of the crowd caught his eye and nodded. A young boy who liked drawing instead of shouting smiled at him. Elias realized he wasn't alone. He was part of a different tribe, the tribe of the deep thinkers, the tribe of the 150, not the million, the tribe of the uncarved wood. He realized that his capacity for solitude was actually a superpower. While others fell apart the moment the noise stopped, Elias was unbreakable because his foundation was internal. He had built his house on the rock of self-worth, not on the shifting sands of other people's validation. He found that by protecting his energy, he had more love to give to the few people who actually mattered. He became a better friend to the 3 people in his inner circle than the townspeople were to their 300 acquaintances. Share this video with one of those people in your inner circle. Just send it to them. No big announcement, just a quiet signal. Elias learned that being alone is a geography, but being broken is a mindset. And he had moved out of that neighborhood. So, here is the truth you need to take with you. Your value is not a stock market that crashes when the trading floor is empty. You are not a channel that gets deleted if the subscriber count drops. The ability to be alone, to sit with your own thoughts without panicking, is the ultimate sign of emotional maturity. It means you have built a self that is worth hanging out with. If you have a small circle, it does not mean you are hoarding love. It means you are respecting its value. It means you understand that trust is a rare currency, and you refuse to spend it on counterfeit connections. The eagle flies alone, not because it has been rejected by the sparrows, but because the sparrows cannot handle the altitude. Stop trying to file a copyright claim on a life that doesn't fit you. Stop producing content for an audience that doesn't care. Go back to your workshop. Carve your wood. Light your candle. You are not broken. You are simply a masterpiece that doesn't need to be explained.